With the end of 2024, it's time to look forward to a new year of big movies and what possibly could be some of the best ones of that year. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Derek, the review back again. Happy New Year, everybody. And let's just talk about some of the biggest movies coming out of 2025 because, yeah, there have been some hits and misses and a couple disappointments back in 2024. I feel like it's time to move forward and take a look at some of the biggest movies coming out next year, or some of the ones I feel like, yeah, I'm definitely checking this one when it comes out. Before diving in, I just want to say this list is not in particular order. Everything from 10 is not basically number 10. I'm going in order of release of what is or isn't coming next year. And there are some movies where I feel like, okay, these I don't feel like everybody knows about, but I feel like I want to mention them because they could be good, and I know there's some fans of this audience who would actually like to take a look at this. This list is mostly opinion, and yes, I'm excited for it, but then again, who knows what the movies could end up being out later along the line when I actually see them. And I feel like, yeah, even though they might not be anticipated, most of them won't even make it to my top 10 list. Starting off this list, we're gonna go with The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Now, it's been a while since the Looney Tunes have been on the big screen, and yeah, Space Jam 2, it almost counts, but then again, it was during the pandemic, so I watched it on HBO Max, and I have a feeling like since it's here, I don't have a need to go watch it in the theater. Since then, the Looney Tunes have been on hiatus for a while, Coyote versus Acme. Hopefully, if this movie does well, we actually get a chance of actually seeing that one. And I'm excited for the fact that it's just 2D animation again, because I haven't seen a 2D movie in theaters since Teen Titans Go to the Movies, and I have a feeling like, okay, another 2D animated film. I feel like anime films count, but then again, I feel like even though it's 2D, I don't distinguish it as old fashioned versus what we usually see on TV. And I know went for some laughs because they're really going old school with this version. Next up is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. We're nearing the end, or what people assume is the end of a certain franchise until they try to bring it back a couple years later. Ethan Hunt's story ends here, and I'm excited to the fact that, yeah, every movie in the franchise so far has been actually good, better than the last one. I know Dead Reckoning Part 1 didn't get as much attention as it did because Barbenheimer kind of kicked in and it slowly went on Paramount and on digital a month later. I have high hopes for it, but I can't wait to see what big stunner action sequence Tom Cruise has in mind to actually end this franchise off with a bang. Next up is Karate Kid Legends, where I feel like this movie I would have accepted if Cobra Kai was the actual ending to the whole story. But then again, it's like, you know what? The franchise grew with new audiences on the show, and most people did grow up with that Karate Kid remake, and bringing the two worlds together. I wonder how it's going to be explained because I don't even know if they're going to even mention it in Cobra Kai. Right when we get to this movie, we're going to see the actual origin of where Mr. Han knew Mr. Miyagi back in the day. And seeing the Karate Kid franchise back with a higher budget and action sequences, I can't wait to see how the fights go down for this one. Next up is a comedy, which I feel like, yeah, the plot for this thing is interesting, but then again, I wonder how this is gonna work because, yeah, comedy isn't how it was back in the day, but these guys still make good on South Park, so yeah, this movie doesn't have a title yet, but I'm calling it Trey Parker and Matt Stone's new film. So the plot for this goes that a black man actually finds out through a slave reenactment that his white girlfriend's parents actually used to own his family, and it's kind of funny if you think about it. I know we've had stuff like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner where the black boyfriend meets the white girlfriend's parents, and then they also kind of did again, but in a reverse with Guess Who. But something like a hard racist edge movie these days, we don't get them, and I feel like, yeah, we revolt to YouTube, TikTok for everything of dark humor nowadays. But I really want to see something like this back on the big screen because it's been a while since comedy has been this almost, let's say, offensive to a degree where, oh, we get it's a joke, but there are some people out there who are like, no, cancel this because this isn't funny. These guys have done well on South Park lately. I still want them to do another Team America World Police because, yeah, some of the stuff from nowadays, I feel like it could be parodied in a way. And there hasn't been a trailer out yet. I don't even know what the trailer is going to be like since this is supposed to be coming around the summer. And I feel like, yeah, we're like in January. I feel like we got 6 or 7 months out till the trailer drops. But with the minds of South Park behind this, I know we're in for a good ass comedy. A while ago, I said I didn't watch these movies in a while. And I feel like, you know what? Since we have a third one coming out, I feel like I should rewatch these movies. And yeah, now I'm kind of excited what they're going to go with 28 years later. I know The Walking Dead has been the main zombie standard of what the zombie genre should be like nowadays, but yeah, rewatching 28 Days Later, I feel like, yeah, this is a new way of bringing this whole zombie apocalypse thing to a new light. And with 28 Weeks Later, I remember thinking, yeah, that one's like not as good as the first one, but I'm like, eh, I could say it's on par with the first. Yes, it doesn't have some of the most character, I could say, moments. I say there's good action, but then again, something with the characters where I feel like, yeah, it was more of a personal story with the first one, but now going into 28 years later, it's funny to see the fact that, yeah, the zombie genre could go in a new direction after this, since now we're seeing how the world has evolved from not only days and basically 3 decades of life. And with all the news of characters coming back or not coming back, I wonder, because I'm not even sure if that is him in the trailer, but I just hope, yeah, at least try to do some justice to that character, because I'm hearing some rumors that it is or isn't. And it's a movie shot on an iPhone, which I feel like, yeah, what am I doing wrong? For this next one, it's been a slippery slope, because we've had 11 years since this character was brought back to the big screen. Then 2 years later, they said, you know what? Let's kill him off and bring him back in a whole new light. But then again, not touch him years along the line and letting this universe die. But with a new CEO and basically our first project in currently going on right now, I have a feeling like, you know what? I think I see something in this. But when that trailer dropped, the whole world was shooken when they looked up into the sky and realized that it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's Superman. It's been a while since we've seen him done right on the big screen. Yes, the Snyderverse is dead, and I kind of did want to see what this character's evolution would have been like right after Justice League. But with Warner Brothers just sitting him on the shelf and saying, you know what, we don't need to focus on our main hero. Let's focus on all these other guys. But then again, use him, but also not use him in a way. With James Gunn at the helm, and the fact that, yeah, I would have been excited for it back then, but I feel like, you know what, this character is overrated. Everybody doesn't love him anymore like they used to. But when that trailer dropped, I said, you know what? He gets it. He understands that this is the most hopeful hero, not just a standard for what superheroes, and is basically the father of all superheroes, but also bringing in that sense of hope and wonder in the DC universe now that it's the fact that, yeah, we're here now. Everybody's established. You don't have to go in with another origin story. Let's just see this hero in new fashion, and I can't wait to see what it's going to be like that summer. A couple weeks later from Superman is another studio hoping, yeah, we don't even know what this franchise is going to be like after this one, but hopefully enough with the two movies and a couple TV shows we have beforehand, hopefully that convinces the audience, and hopefully this one convinces me with Marvel Studios and the Fantastic Four. Weirdly, with the way the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going nowadays, they don't know where to lead their standard usual characters. Like, yeah, we have Captain America set up. We have a couple anti-heroes with the Thunderbolts. There's some characters they want to use, but then again, they're like, yeah, they're failures, so we're not going to touch them. But with bringing back characters like Daredevil, Deadpool, Wolverine, majority of the X-Men for the most part, I think it's time to see what Marvel has in store with their basic first family. And the fact that, yes, I know people are still holding on to the last Fantastic Four movie, but then again, it's like, yeah, that was 20th Century Fox, and they kind of did make that movie just so they could retain the rights, because we could have had them in the MCU a couple years ago, but we just didn't. And with the footage shown, and also the main theme that's been going around lately, I can't wait to see what Marvel has in store for their first family. This next one, I knew it was coming, but then again, I realized, you know what? There hasn't been a trailer for this. And then they quickly moved it from April to October of this year. And I gotta say, oh, that's a long wait. But then again, the payoff is gonna be worth it, because this is gonna be the musical biopic to end all musical biopics, and it's Michael. Nowadays, I'm not a big music guy. With some current artists, yeah, I can hear them on the radio, but none of them will have the standard and popularity of basic, like the embodiment of who was Michael Jackson. And the fact that I was alive to hear some of that music for that point, until when This Is It came out, I realized, oh, he died. And this is going to go through the whole story of him in the beginning, the thriller, bad, everything up until little moments I don't want to say, yeah, I know about those stories, but also this movie's going to actually address some of them in a way where I feel like, okay, they're actually going to respond to this and not just, oh, we're not going to just talk about it even though the world really knows about it. Same with Bohemian Rhapsody. When that came out, I said, are they going to talk about every little thing with Freddie Mercury and what actually happened behind the scenes? And they did kind of reference it there. And I feel like, oh, so they're not going to hold back. They're actually going to tell the whole story as it is. And also the fact that every little piece of music in this thing, I already know that people were like, don't sing during Wicked. Holy shit. When a single note, song, or anything plays for this film, I just know everybody's either going to be singing, tapping their feet, doing something, because his music is still a banger to this day. And the fact that it's like, oh my god, I'm going to cry when I go see this thing, and I just know I will. Next up, I just want to say, it's been shown that you can actually do video game movies in a good way, instead of just taking the name, using the characters from the game, and then just making a movie with a plot and just say, you know what, this is working. Blumhouse showed that, yeah, if you do something based on what the fans want, it works. But then again, you know what? Let's up the scale and actually do good with the second one. And yeah, it's Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Five Nights at Freddy's is the movie I feel like, yeah, it's been years in the making, but then again, when it comes out, I don't think it's actually going to work because I feel like everybody's going to be growing out of that phase. While the games are still going on to this day, I thought, well, hopefully the movie is good, but then again, I have a feeling like, yeah, video game movies don't always work, and this is one of the few that actually say, you know what, we're sticking by the fans. I saw a little glimpse of the poster at Comic Con this year, and I hope with the next one they could actually try to influence horror because, yeah, we got the lore and everything in the first game, but then again, it's like, yeah, I know if this movie was made years as it was supposed to come out, everybody would have seen the animatronics as the bad guys. But technically, now that we're going into the sequel, which I don't even know if they're going to be going the whole sequel prequel route, which I feel like, yeah, the game showed that is a prequel to the first game. But with everybody returning in here, I feel like, oh, so this going to be like a sequel with flashbacks, or are you actually going to be doing a mix of games in one? But with a little tease of the toy animatronics, I just want to say, yeah, with the way the Jim Henson Company did the animatronics in the first film, I just know they're actually going to kill it with this because they're going to look so, like, strangely cute, but it's like, huh, copy and paste from the game. I love it. And lastly, it's kind of a no-brainer, and I also kind of just wanted to say, yeah, whenever a movie like this comes out in any year, if it is this year, that's going on my list, and it's Avatar Fire and Ash. Avatar was a franchise I just knew, yeah, everybody loves it, but I'm not gonna get the appeal until I actually see it. And let's just say, oh, the sequel's coming out, which I feel like, yeah, I feel like it's time to catch up on those Avatar movies, and I might as well just watch it now. I enjoyed the first one. Second one was better, but hopefully, let's just see what James Cameron has in store with the third one, since I have a feeling like, yeah, actually gonna be evolving the story in a way where I feel like, okay, the first one was just, oh, these people are trying to gain a little element from our world. Second one kind of had the same thing, but then again, with the third one, I hope is not where it's some, oh, we're going to this other fire nation of Navi and we're actually going to keep the humans from taking this other thing. I don't know what to expect from it, but I just want to say, whenever an Avatar movie's coming out, it's going to instantly make my list. And hopefully enough, this can actually lead to another sequel where they go to the Earth Nation and we'll actually get a live action Avatar The Last Airbender because come on. Before they announced the Netflix one and they said, okay, we're going to meet water and then we're going to meet fire, I'm like, you're like two elements away, and it's basically Avatar as Avatar the way we know it. And that's it. Those are the 10. And I want to just say thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a while since I've been doing videos, and I have a feeling like, oh, with the growth and progression I had this year, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. I just know, yeah, I've always wanted to do something like this, and it's been years since I doubted myself for it, and I want to say, yeah, I know I can do it. I actually care for the passion I'm going for, and the fact that I'm like, this is gonna be a new year, and with the way I can actually work on my own things school wise, I actually want to work on my things career wise, and hopefully that can all change for the future. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. All my social medias down in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.